and welcome back to Two Chicks Going Green. There's so much information out there on what it means to have a circular economy versus a linear economy, which is what we currently have. And it's really important to understand all of this information, but sometimes that means that it can be hard to know, what does this mean for us as individual shoppers? So in this video, I'll be talking about the importance of a circular economy model, and I'll also be giving you some great tips on what you can do as an eco-conscious consumer to make sure that you're contributing to the circular economy and that you are thereby lessening your environmental footprint and impact. So let's start by talking about what a circular economy is and why it's so important. Well, first off, right now we actually follow a linear economy model, which is also known as the take, make, and throw away model. And what this means is that we're basically taking materials from the ground, pretending like they're never going to run out, which they are, right? These are finite resources. They are not infinite. And then we're making things with them, products, and using them. And then when we're done, we're just throwing everything away and it goes to the landfill or it ends up in the environment, contaminating and causing all sorts of problems for wildlife and for our health. So basically this linear model is no good for the planet, no good for our health, and it definitely will at some point mean that we are going to run out of resources, which is going to cause a whole other set of issues. And this is why it's so important that we move to a circular economy. And there's so many different models out there on what a circular economy looks like. They all pretty much follow the same gist though, which is that we use materials, reuse them, repurpose, repair, recycle as much as we possibly can. A circular economy ensures that we're reducing the use of natural resources and raw materials, and we're making sure to conserve them using innovative processes, making durable products, and using those materials that we can salvage from previous products so that the least amount of materials ends up in our waste stream. And I will also link a few videos on the topic of circular economy versus linear economy models in the description below in case you're interested in learning more about that. So now, even more importantly, what can we as individuals do to help change the tide and move towards that circular economy? And before I get into the actions that you can be taking, it's important that we stop and take a moment to recognize that as consumers, we actually do hold quite a bit of power. It just seems like we don't because we're individuals and how could we compete against what these giant corporations are doing? But if you think about it, we are taking a vote every time that we buy something, that we pay for something with our hard-earned money. We're basically saying, this is where my money is going, this is what I am supporting. And corporations will follow because they follow what the consumer wants. So without further ado, here's some really important consumer actions and practices that we can all follow that will help. First off, and this is an important one, is shop for everything that you can secondhand. Pretty much everything that I've bought in the past few years in my home that I've ever needed is secondhand. Whether it be something big like this couch or something small like electronics, clothing, footwear, kitchen stuff, children's toys, you can shop for secondhand. This saves you a lot of money, it helps your local economy, and it also is just so much better for the planet because those items have been given a second life. And this is such a huge action that is quite easy to follow. Secondly, shop in bulk and package free as much as you possibly can. One of the areas in your house that creates the most waste is the kitchen because we eat a lot every day. So if you can shop for everything that you possibly can, package free and in bulk, it saves so many materials from having to be produced and then end up in the waste stream or recycled, etc., etc. And if you're lucky enough to have a refillery by you, you may also be able to find personal care and cleaning products in bulk and package free. So that makes a really big difference, and it also saves you money in the long run. And we have a whole video on this topic. If you want to check it out, I will link it in the description below. Number 3, when you are shopping for products, look for biodegradable packaging and natural materials. This goes without saying, but anything that is made from natural materials and has more natural packaging is better for the planet. If you can compost the packaging that it's in, that's even better. Just try to stay away from plastic products when possible. Shop locally from small businesses that are in your area, especially ones that are trying to be as eco-friendly as possible. It makes such a big difference to support individuals and your local economy versus giving your money to giant corporations that don't really care about the planet. And if there's a product that you can't find locally, then shop for it from greener businesses that are trying to be more environmentally friendly and are thinking about the end of life cycle of their products and about reducing waste on this planet. For example, Plaine Products, which is the sponsor for today's video, which has a whole line of personal care products like body lotion, shampoos, conditioners, face oils, etc., etc. They ship all of their products in aluminum containers that are reusable. So once you've run out of a product, you can just ship it back to them in the box that it came in originally. Then they take those containers, they clean them, and then they refill them and send them back to you, just like a refillery. They have a huge array of products that I'm trying out and absolutely loving. They work great and they're truly all natural, which is actually harder to find than you might think. So they're an amazing company. Make sure to check them out. I will link them in the description below. And I have a whole video coming on their full line of products. So make sure that you subscribe to our channel if you want to learn more about this amazing company. So all around, this kind of a process is much better than buying from a company where you end up with waste. And when you're shopping for products, also fall into the mindset of, do I really need this or do I just want it? And then if you are going to buy something that's going to last. Pay a little bit more for a product that isn't going to break right away, that you won't have to get a replacement for faster. I think we've gotten really used to in our throwaway culture, just paying for things, and then whenever that one breaks, we just get a new one. Let's really try to focus on a quality product that is going to last us a while, that's better for the planet, that's better for our health, that was done using good materials, and even if we have to pay a little bit more, in the end, it's actually going to save us money because we won't have to buy replacements or repair it as fast. Next, make sure to resell and donate anything that you don't need or use anymore. For example, I have a stepson who's 7 years old, and everything that he has stopped using, I've either given to friends who have kids, or I've donated, or I've resold if it was something still of value. I also do this with all of my electronics. I do this with all of the furniture in our house, and all of this really prevents these items from ending up in the waste stream, and they go to someone's home where now they can get used, and that person got a good deal, you got some money back, so it's a win-win all around. And this is a huge part of living a low-waste lifestyle and being an eco-conscious consumer, is not just throwing things away when you don't need them anymore. Next, if something breaks, try to have it repaired before you throw it out or give it away. This is something that I've started doing a lot more of in the last few years, and I've gotten really good at sewing. Anytime something has a rip in it, I go ahead and sew it back up. Anytime anything breaks, I look for parts to repair it or send it somewhere to get repaired, and that also ends up saving you money in the long run. Next, one of the biggest changes that you can make if you don't do this already is to compost your waste, which is biodegradable. Don't just throw away anything that's organic waste in your trash. Your trash will need to go out more often that way, and it also doesn't go back into the ground where it can help nurture our plants and our soil. So composting is a huge, huge part of living a low waste and sustainable lifestyle. And if you haven't started composting and you'd like to learn more about it, we do have a video all about it that I will link in the description below, so make sure to check it out. Next, make sure that you're recycling properly. I think a lot of people think that they're doing the right thing by throwing things in the recycle bin, but if they're not cleaned properly or you're including items that can't be recycled in your local district, then you're actually doing more harm than good. So make sure that you know exactly what's accepted in your recycling. Make sure that you're cleaning everything properly. Make sure that you're reading the instructions on the back of containers and that you're recycling items correctly so that it's not just a waste of time. And as a last resort, always try to repurpose items before you recycle and throw them out. In our household, we only take the trash out pretty much once every 3 months. No joke, I'm not kidding. I've started counting just because it felt so empowering to know that we're taking out the trash so little during the year, and it makes me really sad when I look around and I see everyone else in the neighborhood, putting their trash can out once or twice a week at times for small households. So even though it might seem like all of the actions that I spoke about today are small actions that how could they possibly add up to make a big difference, they really do, and I am proof of it. Like I said, we only take our trash out once every few months. It's made all of the difference, and Amanda and I both have noticed a huge change in the amount of money that we spend, in the amount of waste that we produce, and it really is extremely satisfying to feel that way. So I hope that you can take all of these tips from today and integrate them into your life and be the most eco-conscious consumer that you can be. And on that note, thank you so much for joining me today. Please drop any comments or questions that you might have in the comment section below. And please give this video a big thumbs up if you liked it and you found it helpful. And subscribe to our channel if you haven't done so already so that you don't miss any of our future videos on living sustainably and living a low waste lifestyle. We also have a Ko-fi page where you can donate or morally support us. Any and all support is greatly appreciated. And once again, we want to thank our sponsors for this video, Plaine Products. So make sure to check them out. I will link them in the description below. And thank you so much for joining me on today's video, and I hope to see you on the next one.